Hello and welcome back to the channel. So this time we've got a special release here, which is the Eduard boxing of their new Spitfire Mk.1, and we've got the very early version of the Mk.1 and also the more standard version. So I won't get bogged down into what the actual designations are because I'm not an expert, but we've basically got the two-bladed prop and the short middle section to the canopy, as well as the more iconic three-blade prop and the more rounded canopy. And we've got a very nice box there, a bit different to the usual way it's designed, and this is a whole thing they're doing now. So the Spitfire Story, this is part one, they're going to go on through, so this is the initial very early Spitfires running on through into the next one. I believe it's more into the Battle of Britain. We've got all the marking schemes around the side. It's a very nice presentation. So if we have a look at the rather large book that we get for this, for the instruction sheet, we can see you've got a huge write-up there with the technical development, so that's all a bit of reading for me to do later. Plenty of that. Then we've got the parts breakdown, so we see that we've got Etch, we've got the masks, we've got a resin pilot, and quite a lot of bits here, and it shows you that there's quite a bit coming down the line. We've got props that we're not using, instrument panels, and a few other bits and pieces around here, as well as canopies. And usual stuff with Eduard, extremely nice detailed instructions working all the way through the cockpit, photo etch bits being added here and there, and we've got the belts going on as well. Nice instrument panel. The good thing is, as usual with these, you get enough to build two complete kits with photo etch and masks, but you've also got all of the parts if you prefer. For instance, you could use a decal on the instrument panel because you get that in there as well, so you've got options all the way through, and it's worth paying attention to which markings you're going to choose, because that starts to matter actually, even on the first page I think. Yeah, so down here, so marking DJ and on it goes, so you need to pay attention, pick your marking scheme first and then go back and just follow it through. So once the cockpit's together, this is much like the rest of the Spitfires that Eduard do. They then come together here. I thought this was an interesting bit. I hope that's going to be a good fit. We've got a bit of the wing root being glued on at the forward part there. We've got some parts to drill out here as well for C to J. So there's going to be some stuff to go under the wing. Again, different gun arrangement it looks like. So probably the amount of guns going through here, or how it's positioned, so just something to bear in mind. Then the fuselage comes onto the actual main wing. We've got separate wing tips going in, and then the rest of the parts are all being made up. You see how detailed this is. I won't go too in depth into it because I'm not an expert on the Spitfire. I can easily make a mistake. One piece rubber sections to the wheels for the tyre, and then the actual wheels being joined on there, so that's a nice touch. We can spray the black, that being hopefully a nice fit. I'm starting to get somewhere now as we're bringing it up and starting to check how we're looking. Then we've got the early version, so the two-blade prop there and the smaller canopy, so that's all going together. And then we've got another page if we're doing the three-blade slightly later version, and there you go. That shows you A to D and G are set up like this, and that's the one aerial wire that we got there, and then F and then A, well, marking F and then H to J has got the multiple aerial wires there as well. Oh no, sorry, that's actually just marking J, has them coming off of the tail plane there as well. And then we've got the figure, just showing you the two parts going together, which is literally just an arm being glued on, and then how the masks are going to be used. And then we're into the marking scheme. So this is a bit of a bumper one here. We get plenty to choose from. So marking A is number 19 Squadron, quite an iconic one, a very early Spitfire. I've got this one up on my wall. So it's on a postcard. So it's got silver underside and green and dark green and dark earth on top, and the large early type of roundels. A nice write up there. So that's Duxford, 1938. Then we've got Spring 1939 here with PNM, and that's number 41 Squadron. And then we've got FZL here, which is Essex, Summer 1939. So these are all pre-war ones so far. And then we've got March 1940, so we've got LOO, and that's 602 Squadron. And then we're jumping into number 54 Squadron, May 1940, and that nice white and black undersides there. You see the difference all through here. And then this one here is particularly nice. So we've got Duxford, June 1940, Hornchurch, June-July 1940. We're starting to run into some of the Battle of Britain ones now. And then you've got 41 Squadron, RAF Hornchurch, August-September 1940. August-September 1940 again here, number 19 Squadron. And then lastly, we've got 602 Squadron at West Hampnett, September 1940. And then we've got the placement there for all of the necessary stencil data and all of the extras that you can get for this one. So if we start here with the decals, these are the ones printed by Eduard, which I prefer. When I've used decals, these are by far the best. And you can see that there's really nothing missing there. So we've got you've got 2 sets of these stencil data, but these are your main. You only got 1 each of these. And let's get the carrier film off and have a look at the register and the carrier film. So a little bit different to some of their other decals that I've used, whereas usually the carrier film's extremely tight around the roundels and those areas, whereas here it's not quite so tight. However, it does look extremely thin, so that's just as good in my opinion. And you can see the amount of different roundel options that we've got there, so it's all looking very, very good. 2 different versions of the 19, so presumably that could have been yellow or white. I'm sure that was there in the description. So they're very nice, and it's the same all across here, where you've just got the blocks of carrier film tying these 2 letters together. So that's all very good. Then we've got the photo etch fret, which caters for quite a nice instrument panel there. I was trying to work this out. I think you've got 2 separate instrument panels there, because that's the backing part to show through these exposed areas where there is no dial in there. So it looks like 2 slightly different configurations there. You've got the armour to go behind the seat and the seat belts, none of which is coloured. Oh, perhaps it is. It's a little bit funny. Those belts look like they need painting to me, to be honest. And you get 2 sets of that. So there's 2 frets like this, and this is your 1 sheet. So that's got all of the bits pre-cut there for masking the canopies, but you just can't see that on camera. Then we got our figure there, and that's the extremely nice figure of Douglas Bader there. Well represented in resin. Lots of nice creasing there to his clothes, gives a lot of depth, and we've got lots of the webbing and straps and all that. Looks really, really good actually, and nice facial features. So that's a nice addition for this set. And then it's the all-important clear part. So everything I'm showing you now, you get 2 of these sprues. So here you can see the amount of different canopy options that we've got. So you've got the 3 options for closed, and that's the one of those is the actual flat canopy. I don't know what the name is, so I apologise, but that's a flattened one, whereas I think these 2 are actually slightly got the bulge in it. And then you've got another 2 sections here, and then you've got those there. So it's all slightly, I thought it was all like this. It jumped right up to the iconic, very rounded top, but it doesn't. It looks like it's more subtle. It looks like it's extremely flat and then slightly more subtle, and then we're straight into the one that you see in most kits. Very, very clear, nicely done, no damage. All very good. Very good indeed. And then next up, let's have a look at the actual fuselage halves. And importantly here, it's what Eduard's known for, is their rivet detail, and we've actually got recessed and raised rivets. So here, these are all raised rivets just behind and around the cockpit, running back there, and then we've got recessed rivets here. So there's a very nice difference between the 2. Struggling to show that on camera, but the rivets are definitely there, and the raised ones run all the way back down here. Hopefully that's starting to come up there now. And then just a few small areas of detail on the inside, mostly waiting for the cockpit to attach into. Whilst we're on rivets, let's have a look at the wings as well. And again, these are all very fine recessed rivets right the way over that wing there. Nicely done. You can see just how good the surface detail is of these kits. That's very nice. Then we've got a small sprue with a couple of props here. I don't know the difference. I mean, this is the rotor nose. I think I'm right there. So we've got that, and you've got the two different types of prop blades, and a couple of actual chairs there, which seem to have a difference. That's got a cushioned back, and that looks like it's more of a metal pressed seat. All very nice, no damage or any problems that I can see across this yet. Then we've got one of the larger sprues catering for most of the tailplane, and we obviously got the tyres down here. So two different types of those. One's got a tread pattern, one's smooth. We've still got the recessed rivet detail all the way across here. Nice fabric detail there as well. These are the wing tips. Then we've got a de Havilland nose cone there as well, and various small parts. All looks exceptionally well done there. Can't see any problems. There's a whole range of doors here, some with crowbars, some without. This all looks very impressive. Then we've got the last sprue, and this has got yet another couple of props in it, and there's the two-bladed prop. So we've got that there as well in two sections, but I can't quite see where the end of the nose cone for that is. Oh, back here, that's on this other sprue. And then we've got all of the gun barrels, which are all hollowed out all the way across there. We've even got a set of cannons there as well, which must be a sign of something to come. This says Mk1 to 5, so there we go. Must be a Mark 5 on the way before too long. That's the name of this sprue and the previous sprue, so they're generic to the Mark 1 or the Mark 5. Just checking now. So's the wing, Mark 1, Mark 5, and the fuselage says Mark 1, Mark 5. So there we go. You have to let me know in the comments if you can actually build much of a Mark 5 out of this kit. Not sure. I'm sure people will know more about that than I do. But we've got all manner of different parts here, so there's going to be plenty left over. And hopefully those fishtail exhausts are hollowed out as well, so that's good. Perfect. Everything you'd like to expect from a new Eduard kit, and it doesn't look like we've got any of these slight quality control issues that seem to creep in with the Mustang. I noticed there was a few issues there. Everything looks absolutely perfect. Extremely well done. So there we go. That is the brand new Mark 1 Spitfire from Eduard in 1/48 scale, and it's the beginning of the new story that they're telling here. So this is the Spitfire story, the few. So I imagine the next one is Battle of Britain, but we'll have to see. That might be covered in this as well. Extremely good stuff, and something we've probably needed for a while. It feels like there's a lot of Mark 1 Spits out there in 1/48, but none quite on the level of this, and it does seem that Eduard are going to go right the way through all of the Spitfires now that they haven't done, starting from the Mark 1, and looks like a Mark 5 is not very far away. So great stuff. If you like the Spitfires, it's not a better time to do it now with being in the period of 80 years since the Battle of Britain, so it's perfect timing. I will be building one of these, and I'm thinking about putting it up in parts, so you know, do the cockpit and show it maybe 2 or 3 parts, something like that. So stay tuned to the channel, because it will be coming before too long, and can't wait to get started on it. So if you have any comments, let me know below. A few of the things on what we can do regarding Mark 5 and a few of the other spare parts, and I'll see you in the next video.